Hey guys, and welcome back to my world. Now, I've got something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Since I've done the arrows, lighting torches with arrows video of mine for the thief map and so forth, I've finally been able to create selectable different kinds of arrows. So as you can see at the bottom here, I've got a water arrow, fire arrow, torch arrow, TNT arrow, carpet arrow, teleport arrow, sand arrow, and poison arrow. Okay, and they're all absolutely selectable. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking about the Rogue Shadows map. I'm going to actually be holding off on the Rogue Shadows map and only release it when 1.8 comes out. Because, for example, this is exactly what I've been trying to do for months. Okay, for months and months and months and months. Okay, so let me show you what's going on. So let's say we've got a cow over there and I want to use my fire arrow to see if I can set the cow on a light. Okay, that didn't work, so we're going to see if we can get this. There we go, and we've got a cow that's burning to death. Perfect, but now I've got actually created some fire there, and there might be guards around. I don't want anybody to see, so I'm actually going to use my water arrow, which I actually missed now. I'm going to use another water arrow, and again. Okay, there we go, that's it, and it's dead. However, now there's a lot of water in the way, so what I'm going to do is let me just quickly use my my sand arrow and kind of get rid of all of this water over here. Yes, perfect. But you know what, this is actually quite a dark area, so I'm going to be using my torch arrow just to kind of shed a bit of light on this area, because it is, you don't want mobs appearing everywhere and so forth. So let me just do one way over there. Let's see how far that goes. Will that light up an area? Yes. Well done. And let's see what happens if I shoot it over there. Will that light it up? Did I actually shoot it over that thing now? No? Yes, there we go. Yay! A torch over there. Come on. Where did that land? Where did that land? Okay, anyway, so this is the torch arrow. Sorry, I'm just getting a bit confused over where what is. How absolutely cool is that? So next, I have a TNT arrow. So let's go cow hunting with the... Oops, not actually kill the cow. Let's go cow hunting with the TNT. Okay, so I've got my nice little TNT arrow here. Alright, what else do I have? I've got my carpet. Okay, so there's a creeper. Oh, let's give the... No, let's burn the creeper. Let's burn the creeper. Let's burn it. Let's burn it. Let's burn it. Let's burn it. Burn it. Burn it. No, not that his name is Bernard. It's just let's burn the creeper. Oh, he's not... There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. And then while he's busy burning, let's just give him a... Oops. Okay, well that's one way of putting out the fire. Right, and then next we have a carpet arrow. Now if you've ever played the Thief franchise, that you'll know that, oopsie, wow, that was a teleportation. Okay, where's the carpet? So you have various different surfaces that you can walk on, and when you walk on like wood, it actually amplifies your footsteps. So a way around that is to actually cover the area that you're going to be walking on something called a moss, with a moss arrow. So this is the moss arrow in Minecraft basically. So I can then just, you can lay out your path how you want it, and then sneak around so that the mobs and the guards can't hear what you're doing. Okay, then we've got the teleport arrow, which you just saw how that works. I mean, this can teleport me vast distances. Okay, like so, which is very cool. I do like this teleportation arrow as well. Right, and then we have the sand arrow. Now the sand arrow is the one that you saw before when I put out the water, but RM Select in one of my other videos suggested that it would be cool to have a mini game where you kill the chickens. Well, that would still be cool, but you can now actually do this with doing sand into the lava. So if I do sand into the lava, I can actually create a kind of pathway for me to actually move to a different area. So if I'm very bad at parkour actually, but there we go, there we go, there we go, whoopsie, there we go, and there we go. Ta-da! Oops. Okay, it's a good thing I'm a creative. Right, so this is actually very cool. I didn't actually realize it'll work so well, to be honest. Okay, then we have a poison arrow. Now the poison arrow, the problem with the poison arrow is that you need to splash the mob or the player with it, so you can't actually shoot the mob itself. It would be I would love it if there is a tag like there is inGround, but like in player or in mob. That would be very, very awesome, because then we can actually maybe start using things like this. But at the moment, I do splash the mobs, but nothing really seems to. It doesn't really affect them, and it doesn't really affect me either. But anyway, so let's hope that get that sorted, or if somebody knows how to fix that, let me know. Okay, so this is the mechanism. Now it uses most of the features in the 14W02C snapshot. Okay, so, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward, actually. Well, I think it is. So first off, you'll see the first thing that happens is I'm testing to see if there is an arrow in the ground somewhere. So it's testfor at type equals arrow inGround -1b 1b. Okay, so I'm testing for an arrow. Now if I test successfully, two things are gonna happen. The first thing, you'll see, let me just actually time set day, so we can actually split, right, and weather clear. Okay, right. So two things are going to happen. First off, this is going to happen first because there's no tick here, and there's a full tick over there. So first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to test what item slot the person is currently selected. Okay, so it's testfor at p select item slot 0. Now I got this command from a Skype chat between me, Simply Sock, Squid Dude, Hi Folks, it's Adam, and the FallingSand. Anyway, so yes, this command Simply Sock posted in our little chat on Friday, I think it was. And this is fantastic. So you'll see over here I've got slot 0, slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 4, 5, slot 6. So this is why these bows are named water arrow slot 0, fire arrow slot 1, just so that I know which slot the bow needs to be in. So you don't actually need multiple bows. All you need to do is actually put the bow in the correct slot for this to work. So this, I'll be using this until there is a better way of actually selecting this. So like, for example, selecting, being able to detect what kind of if the bow has a name that you're holding, which I'm absolutely certain this will come, but it's not there yet. Okay, right, so once I've determined what slot I am, I will then know what arrow I'm shooting. So if I'm in slot 0, I'm shooting a water arrow. So then it'll then activate this comparator, which will then do a block data. So it'll change the block data, okay, to a block data of this block over here that's got this carpet on here, this block over here. Okay, it'll change that block data to summon a FallingSand entity that is water. So it'll summon a FallingSand entity that's about 4 up and that's water. Okay, and while that is then falling, the next signal that comes out of the block will then teleport that FallingSand entity, or the youngest FallingSand entity, to the arrow. Okay, and then once that's done, it will then delete all arrows in the world. Okay, that's, yeah, all arrows lying around. Now I've got two extra blocks over here. First off, this is this the primed TNT, so it's going to teleport any primed TNT to that arrow if there was TNT prime TNT in the world. Okay, cancel that one, and then this one over here just does the thrown potion, so it teleports the thrown potion to that the youngest thrown potion to the youngest arrow in the world. Okay, so that is when I do the poison arrow, it'll then teleport it to there. Okay, now just to show you how this works, so you'll see I selected, if I select, for example, the torch arrow, okay, which is the third one there. So if you'll see immediately what happens. Okay, there we go. You'll see it activated. It then rewrote the data of this block over here to summon a FallingSand entity that is a torch, and then when that signal finally hit it, because there's a slight delay, it then spawned that item. This then teleported it to there, and then the last one just deleted the arrow. So I'm just going to quickly show you how that works, so what that looks like. So if I just do this, you'll see very briefly a falling torch. Can you see it? Very, very briefly a falling torch. And just do it higher again. Okay, we can also do it with let's do the TNT. You can probably see the TNT. No, you can't, because that's actually much faster. So let me see, sand arrow, the poison. This should be a good one as well. So if you see that the poison one there, it starts falling and then it hits over there. Okay, let's have a look. Right. Okay, that's it. It's a relatively straightforward design. I'm going to put this world up for download. You will spawn somewhere around this area. I'm also going to be putting these bows in this chest. Okay, and yeah, just come in the world, play with it, but it's very important that the correct bows is in the right slot if you want to get the correct things. I mean, any bow in any of these slots will work, but if you want to kind of know what's going on and which one you're choosing, you'll need to have that all filled up. You can probably have like a healing potion. You can have all kinds of stuff. This is fantastic. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will check you all later.